What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. We're going to be jumping into my June EDC. Let's get into it. All right, so what we're going to do first is just kind of go over like some of the main accessory carries, and then we'll jump into my actual knives because I know that's what you guys are here for. So I've been using the, accordion style wallet holder. Really nice here because you can get a little bit more cards than what you could in with the leather ones. I can even add a few more in here if I needed to, and it still has a little space for my cash. So I really like these. I just got some cheap ones off Amazon. Judge me if you want. I really don't care. I didn't know if I would like them, so I wanted to try them out. They claim to have an RDF scan blocker. Use at your own risk. Your mileage may vary. All right, so the main things that have been part of what my companion carries have resided in have been these art company organizers. I really like these a lot. I'm not affiliate. I don't have any type of links or anything with them. I just like these because they do a good job of separating the gear, and I can just drop it down in the pocket with the smaller knife that I'm carrying that day. So I really do appreciate that. I have like non-stop been carrying my Ace Beam Rider X. I love this one. This particular model has a titanium scale or outer shell. And then on the inside, it has the aluminum, which helps dissipate the heat when I need to use that. And the other item that's been kind of like the main carry here lately has been the Mini Smooth Precision Pen. Really like these because they're very smooth in operation. They feel extremely refined compared to some of the other pens in my collection, which I do really like. I have the tactile turn, and you'll see another one here in a minute when we jump into the pouch. But those have been kind of, paired with whatever smaller knife that I'm carrying that day that goes in the pocket. But I will say they do have a smaller size one if you do want it in a little bit smaller scale. But I have found like the larger variant of this one, and my editor is going to have to put the name of this on the screen because I always forget it. It's like the Rambler or the Boulder or something like that. But these fit all the way down in here with a little bit of room to spare, especially with the not deep carry pocket clip, and then I can just slide the pin in there. But the smaller one does work nicely, and if you're just carrying like some small gear with your main carry, this is a really nice option. But let's set that aside. I'm going to jump really fast into the pouch, and then we'll get into the knives. Still carrying the Data Crew Wada Slide. I have this one, and I have the black canvas one. I still need to finish building that one out. I forgot that I don't have a pin in it, and the other day I wanted to write something down and didn't have a pin. Imagine that. But here is the quick and dirty version of this. I keep a hank in here, which helps keep the pocket clips from bumping into each other. I have my Raycons. I really like these. When I go to the gym with my son and we're working out, I throw one in one ear or the other so I can still talk but listen to music. When I cut grass, I listen to these. They're very nice. I have the Dapper Design Ion in here. I don't know what happened to the dust cover here, but this is a really nice flashlight. I think I'm going on 3 months now without charging it, and it still has battery life. I think I did it 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So it still has battery life, cuts right on. Just kidding. There we go. I think I had, look, it's finally, after 3 months, it's finally ready for charge. And the nice thing is the Raycon charger charges both of these. So guess what I'll be doing after this video? Probably because it wasn't locked. I'm thinking that's probably why it's dead now. So I'm going to just throw that back in the pouch. I do clip it onto the back side and then kind of protect it from hitting anything in the case. So we'll charge that later. And I noticed the cord has slid over. I probably need to get a twist tie to keep that together, or find one of those little rubber bands that I have. The other thing that I have in here is the Tactical Keychain Box Cutter Slider. This one rides on a magnet. It took a minute for me to realize how it works. You got to push down really hard to get it to slide to the next stage, and I went too far there. So you can get it out about that far or a little bit less. They do sell, if you want the patterns, they do sell them on their website, but it does take a regular box cutter razor. And then in the closed position, you can use this to kind of put some string or rope in there and cut it. And it comes with a lanyard hole, or you can use the pocket clip to keep that from sliding out. So I really like that one a lot, and it goes right down in there, fits great. The other items in here that I mentioned earlier, the pin, which we're going to jump into in just a second, I have the CRKT tool. This is actually made by Scout Tools. It has a Phillip head, flathead T6, T8 in here. I did cut the lanyard off. I forgot to put another lanyard on. I was going to try to go with the colorway that actually matches the pouch a little bit better. I had the old red and black one in there from my old red and black pouch. Next, we have the mini sidekick from Big Idea Design. Writes nice, very well built. I like this a lot. My only complaint or feedback is I wish that the clip was just a little bit further out. I think it would, for me, work a little bit better, because I do find that I am having to push really far in there. Keep some band-aids and wipes, alcohol wipes in there, and then I have the Taccom stubby in here for a backup knife if I want to cut into anything. Fidget toy as well, if I'm going to be honest. It's a little bit of a fidget toy, because I do have the TK slide in there, and I actually find that I pull that out more often than not, especially when it's tape and gunk and grut and stuff, because eventually I can just throw that away. Now on the What a Slide front, I have just an assortment of, I forgot to, let me throw that in there, and then later on I'll charge that flashlight back up just in case. But that has gone a good 3 months 3 months without needing a charge. But just random, we got some lefty or Devo knives, lefty pouches here, Blade HQ, some Etsy's, and then those are from Data Crew. So that is what was in my pouch. Let's go ahead and keep it going. I do keep a hank around usually. I like Mighty Hanks, but I'm not below or beneath using the ones that come in the knife pouches, or the ones that come in, you know, with the knives. Or come in like a swag pack from Devo if you order those. So I'm just going to jump into the knives in no particular order. I just kind of marked them down this month to see which ones I carried the most. I didn't really add it up to see what was 5 and what was 1. So we're going to kick it off with the CJRB Echo. I really love this model. It doesn't matter if you have the budget variant with the aluminum scales, the budget variant with the micarta scales. This knife is a winner. I have the titanium variant at Blade Show. They matched the titanium pocket clip with the blacked out hardware. I have heard feedback from others that say if you order the one that comes with the steel clip and you get the titanium pocket clip, it still uses silver hardware, so it doesn't come with the black. So I guess that makes it a little special. But you know, I didn't overpay for it. It's the same price if you get the pocket clip and the knife from their website. I really love this sheep's foot blade shape. The stone wash on here is really well done. Great button lock action, very fidgety, very nice to flick, and the lock works really well, and the ergos on this are just really nice. I really enjoy carrying this one a lot, and it's a great user. AR RPM 9, the blade still seems to be holding up well. Have no issues. I've had it since Blade Show, used it moderately, and it's a great knife. I really like this one a lot. All right, let's keep it going. Next up on the list is going to be my recently acquired Sprint Run S90V Spyderco Para 3 lightweight with the Applied Weapon Tech scales. So Applied Weapon Tech has engineered for the lightweight where you can replace the scales on them if you have a Sprint variant that you want, or maybe even if you want to put it on your BD1N variant, the base model one. If you don't like the plastic, they have some very nice aluminum scales on there with multiple colors. Now the one thing that I will warn, aluminum will take some scratches if you're not careful. Action on this is really nice. It came with a second washer with their build, so you have washers on both sides. That did help with the centering. It was way over to the show side when I originally installed this, and as you can see now, it's a little bit closer to center, a little off, but I think that's because I have it so that it can almost fall shut. Actually, did that just fall shut? almost fall shut. You got to give it a little encouragement. Once you get started, it goes home. Compression lock on here, so you got a really strong lockout, keeps your fingers out of the blade path. You can use this lefty, you can reverse it. The way that it looks is you would just completely, I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks about the same. It looks like you would just take the bolt out and then push it out a little bit and get the wire pocket clip in here and then just put it back together that way. I know you guys probably can't really see it here, but you see where it stops right there. I think that's because this is inserted in. So this is like a Chicago screw that goes all the way through, and it's a really well engineered scale setup. I really like this one a lot. Very good for left hand. I've just gotten used to the fact that left-handed, if you don't have a CME, which is made by OCD for EDC, if you check out his site, it'll have all the details as to what I'm talking about. So please make sure you check out OCD for EDC if you want to know what the button is that's on the back of my Shaman that I don't have on the Para 3. But basically, I've just come to use it like a lockback. When I go to close this, push it in, get it started, close it. So if I'm using it left-handed, which is not my predominant hand, I'm kind of okay with that. And then I'm obviously very easily able to very easily actuate that with the other hand. But let's keep it going. Another one that's coming on the list is going to be a little familiar for you guys, but this is just, it's because it's such a good model. I know that there's some people that are like, it's the same knives every month. And I think it's because they see one or two that make it into that rotation regularly, but that's just saying something about that model. There are other ones that make it onto the list. I know you guys ribbed me a little bit. I have number 74 here. I don't know if you can see that. Ooh, a little bit of lint in there. All right, see, number 74, I have the all silver model. This is the upside down CPM 20 CV. Very nice knife. I love the ergos on this. The detent is dialed, jimping all the way out to the tip. So with my larger hands, even though it's just a, I would consider it a full size knife, nearly 3.5 inches or 3.5 inches on the blade. I can't really remember. The hollow grind on here is done really well, nice and slicey. You got a full flat grind out on the tip, making this a compound grind, but it gives that strength out on the tip, so I do appreciate that. Great access to the lock bar, really good action. I've not had to do anything with the pivot bolt or anything since I've gotten this one. Pocket clip works great on it. The milling on here is at what I would consider perfect execution because it gives grip, but it's not sawing away at my pants pocket when I put it in the pocket. And the action on here sounds, just so many things were nailed on this model. That's why you continue to see it in the pocket, and it's an easy recommendation for anyone that's on the fence about it. I actually recommend this one over the Nimble X. The Nimble X is a little too thin for me, and this one here a little bit more fuller, feels so good in the hand. Just excellent ergos all the way around. Let's keep going. Coming in next, because they're again not in any particular order, it's going to be another Blade Show pickup. That's going to be the Knoll Knives Voodoo with the swappable scales. This was the Black Micarta variant, and I installed the Mars Valley fat carbon scales on here. I really like these a lot, and they're just such good scales. They fit really well. They did a good job with that. I think they look really good with the black bolster and the black hardware. The blade shape on here, again, you got kind of a clip point reverse tanto with a hollow grind, and they polished it and then they stone washed it, and I really like that look. It helps reduce the visible fingerprints and things like that you'll see on there. You do have a reverse fuller on here as well, and you got to be careful with that. I just dropped that on my nail and I could feel it a little bit. But what I was saying is you got that reverse fuller, really good action there. You also have thumb studs that are triangled and ramped, so those really create a perfect leverage point for flicking it out. And even if you like to reverse flick on the thumb stud instead of on the fuller, really good for that. Lock bar access is really good. One of the things that I appreciate on here is that they put jimping here on that lock bar, and it really helps with the grip and being able to disengage the knife. great shape for utility cuts, push cuts, draw cuts. The jimping, that would be one feedback I would have. I would just carry the jimping all the way out because my thumb lands right here in the harpoon. And I think the jimping going all the way out would be good for that, because if you're doing detailed work out on the tip, that's really where you're going to want the jimping. Very rarely am I holding it here. If I'm doing that, it's usually because I'm doing a full grip here with nothing on the spine, and I'm doing that for the push cuts and the pull cuts. Pocket clip works great, goes in and out of the pocket. Back spacer here is 3/4 lengths, got some aesthetics there to help dress up the knife a little bit. Very minimal branding on here. You don't see anything anywhere else. It is just right here. This is an M390. I think in my review video I said it feels like a Bestech, but I have heard others say that it is Rayot. So apologies for that being incorrect. And I just realized I'm using my DJI 2 Action 2 for the first time, and I just realized that it cut off as I was in the middle of doing this review or update for my June EDC. I'm not quite sure what it's gotten on my scale here. Let's see. Some type of lint or something is stuck on a fiber, so I'll mess with that later. But this is a great model. Doesn't matter if you don't get it with the fat carbon, if you decide to get it with the micarta. This is a great size. It's a full size knife, and you have really good utility application here. And if you do like a little bit of a fidget factor with it, this definitely has it. Again, really smooth action. I keep landing on the ramp on the video. I promise you, when I'm doing this at home by myself, not under the pressure of recording, it goes just fine. But really smooth action. I did install skiffs in this, and I did forget to mention I installed skiffs in that relative as well. But I really like this model a lot. So let me go back down to, or let's get to the last knife. That is going to be another Blade Show Fund acquisition, and that is going to be the Chris Reef Knives Sabenza 31 Magna Cut Steel and Cinco blade. I actually sold my Umanzon for this, and I don't regret it. I really like the micarta inlays on here. They're a nice material. They improve the thickness on here. The Incinco blade is a little bit more my style for the type of application that I'm using it for, which is going to be kind of your, opening packages, draw cuts, breaking things down, and it's just so comfortable in hand. I mean, it just fits really nicely. Very good finishes on here. No hot spots. My only complaint is that thumb stud. Slow rolling it open is a bit painful. I mean, it just really digs into the thumb a lot. I wish they would use the same thumb studs that they put on the Umanzon. This is just an awful thumb stud, but I can look past that because there's so much else with the knife that I really like. You got a crown spine, you got a nice tip with a swedge out here for your detailed work. You got a nice belly on here with a really good blade, hollow ground, Magna Cut steel treated at 63 to 64 HRC. I did go ahead and just put the MXG pocket clip on here. I did have the RGT on there, and I found with mine that it actually moved and shifted around a little bit even when you fastened it down. I'm not experiencing that at all with the MXG. The MXG is really nice. And then this is the same Chris Reeve lanyard barrel. I took the lanyard off, but it has that beautiful blue anodize on it that I like a lot. And I did go ahead and match the pocket clip to that, but I didn't polish it that time. That's why you see a little bit of different variant in the color. I left this stonewash on here and did it the same temperature for anodizing, and I just thought it was interesting to be able to kind of show people how you can get variants if you polish or if you have more of that matte finish on there. Great lockup, no issues whatsoever. Has it broken in enough to flick it open? It has. I can flick that open, but I really found with these knives on the washer action and the way that they're built, I kind of like doing it a little bit more deliberate. So turning the lights on, sun's going down a little bit. I had some beautiful sunlight here going, but that is going away. So again, Art Company organizer. I just have some basic wallet off of Amazon. I am carrying my Data Crew water slide, in the pockets, and then just rotating amongst the 5 knives. I'm just going to throw 2 out here since it'll fit on the screen that I mentioned at random. I'm really enjoying these models, and I have some coming in that are new that I'm going to be really excited about. I have some that I've swapped out in my rotation with some mods that I'm going to be doing to those. I actually tried to do one today with the RGT scales for my bug out, but I think something happened because they actually didn't have the little carve out where you have like the standoff go in and it doesn't twist. It's like a D shape, but it's flat on both sides. And for some reason, it didn't look like the scales that I picked up had those, even though in the description it says to make sure your barrels have them. So I reached out to RGT. I'll wait to see what they say back. But this is my carry. This is all my gear. I know, let's bring out the other knives. I feel bad that they're not out here. These are the other knives that I've been carrying in the month of June that I have really enjoyed. Let me know what's your favorite from mine, and let me know what you have in the pocket for yours. I love hearing that from you guys. Sound off down in the comments with that information. Shout out to everyone out there that leaves the likes, the comments, and is subscribed. I love you guys. I hope you all have a fantastic week, and until next time, peace.